Welcome to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fandom's welcome. I'm Nathan Bedard.
I'm Brad Newton.
And today we're doing our Infinity War review / spoiler cast. It's finally here.
Yep, this was the culmination of 18 Marvel movies. This is like unfathomable.
It's over a 10-year span. 10 years of Marvel goodness. We've been leading up to this moment. And boy, do we get it.
Yeah, so before we go into spoilers, we're going to just give our overall impressions of the movie. So what did you think of this movie?
First off, I'd like to start by saying bravo to the Russo brothers. Bravo. With a movie that had so many characters and so much build-up and hype, and I don't think there's any better way they could have probably done it. I mean...
Yeah. They balanced out the characters well. Again, this movie was probably the most hyped movie for a lot of people. And it didn't disappoint.
No.
I'm glad it lived up to the hype for the most part.
It did, and I mean, just from start to finish, it's just action. It starts going, and it does not slow down at all. And it was an experience. It wasn't just like a movie. It was an experience.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen this movie, do yourself a favor and go see it.
Go see
right
this.
Now.
Go see this right now.
Go see it right now.
Use the time stone.
Rewind time.
Rewind time. Go buy your tickets if they're sold out. Take the Space Stone. Go out there. Go buy your tickets.
Yeah. All right. So, what would be your ranking of this in our ranking system?
Sort of perfect.
Yeah.
The movie was amazing.
Yeah, we're not even gonna go through our ranking system. Sort of perfect. Our highest possible praise we can give this movie.
Yeah, we
go see it as many times as possible.
That I will say though, that is our fanboy rating. I'm not gonna give it like a critical. I don't want to look at it as a critical rating. We just love this movie. We loved it. We loved it. That's all I'm gonna
If you're a Marvel fan, you'll love this movie. If you've seen any other movies, you'll love it. So go see it. All right. So we are now going to go into spoilers. I mean, spoilers will be in the title.
Yep. Spoiler warning. You have been warned. Spoilers start now.
All right. So
everyone died. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what did it? This was like the darkest Marvel movie there was.
Yeah, so usually at the beginning of the movies, we have the big epic theme music, and we start off, and especially with the Avengers, like there's an action scene. Well, we start off with like a slow title. We hear like an Asgardian distress call.
Yeah, like as the Marvel logo comes up, they don't play the music.
Yeah, they don't play the music.
It's like, it's quiet at first, and I thought maybe something was wrong with the sound in the theater, and then all of a sudden you start to hear little noises, and then you hear the distress call from the Asgardians. This picks up right where Thor Ragnarok left off.
Yep, and you see pretty much Thanos and his children, his group have like completely decimated the Asgardians. They say that half of them got away, which I assume is maybe Valkyrie took them and got away because we don't see her.
Also because that's Thanos' thing. He kills half of the population and leaves the other half to live.
Yeah. So I do think that they are okay. They're alive.
Korg, Meek, Valkyrie.
Yeah, Korg, Meek, all them. But yeah, we started like this first like 5 minutes. This shows you the tone of the movie. Loki starts coming out saying, actually, I think Heimdall. Oh, no. Loki starts like talking, and pretty much he's like, "Yeah, we have a Hulk," and because everyone's been, so relying on the Hulk. And the Hulk gets wrecked.
Hulk gets destroyed, and that's pretty much his character this whole movie. Hulk has never been defeated like that before.
He's scared. He is scared, and so
Heimdall's last action is after the Hulk gets destroyed by Thanos. As he says, "Give me this power one more time," and he uses a Bifrost to send the Hulk to Earth to go warn about Thanos.
Yep.
And then Loki he pledges himself to Thanos. He's like, "I'm going to serve you. Here's the Tesseract." And Thor didn't know that Loki had the Tesseract. He thought it was destroyed by Surtur on Asgard. So Loki gives Thanos the Tesseract, and he already has the Power Stone at this point. So that means Nova Corps got destroyed.
Yeah, they say that he decimated the Xandar.
So he's got 2 Infinity Stones. Loki pledges himself, but he's got a dagger in his hand, and this is the point Loki's done.
Yeah, I was like leading up to that moment. I was like, oh, okay, he might not die, or he might get away. Actually, maybe he not. But then when I saw the blade, I'm like, oh,
yeah, he's done. He tries to stab Thanos. Thanos uses the stone to stop him. Breaks his neck.
Yep, and I mean we all knew that this was probably coming. I still had some feeling for it. Like it was like, oh yeah, he really did die.
Yeah. So after this point, they just leave Thor to drift off into space.
Yep, he destroys the ship, and they pretty much he sends his children like into different teams to go retrieve the rest of the stones because there's 2 stones on Earth.
So we cut to Earth. Hulk's been bifrosted there, and he lands in Doctor Strange's house.
Yep. And that's how
221 Bleecker Street.
And that's how we get that little meetup.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to like Tony and Pepper. They're like running, jogging, and talking about the future.
They're gonna get married apparently. They're
married.
engaged.
Tony wants kids, and that doesn't bode well for probably what his future is gonna be.
And then all of a sudden, the Doctor Strange portal walks up, and Doctor Strange and Iron Man have their first interaction together.
Yep. And this is one thing I think this movie really,
does well.
Comedy. The comedy's phenomenal. It's hilarious.
This movie needs comedy too, just as an aside, because it's a dark movie. Like, it needed it.
Yeah, I think there might have been only 1 or 2 jokes I think could have been out of place. That might have been out of place. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, like the dark tone to light tone really flowed well in this movie.
So Iron Man is now talking to Doctor Strange in his house. We get there, and then they explain who Thanos is coming. Iron Man's like, oh, so this is the guy from New York. He said the time's finally come. Yep. Like, Tony's in his mind's been preparing for this day ever since, Avengers, Iron Man 3. He knows that something's coming. So then you hear this noise outside, and then people are running by and screaming, and this build-up scene is great.
Yep, and so pretty much we get, I think it's Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Wong, and Hulk, Bruce Banner, versus Cold Obsidian and Ebony Maw.
So they go out, they're out in the street, and then they're there in the street, and they're about to have our first fight, and they're trying to get Hulk to come out, and then...
He won't come out. He's scared.
Bruce, he's like, I'm trying. They're like, alright. Doctor Strange's like, if you're not going to help, and he portals him away to the park.
And pretty much we get a little basis of Ebony Mob's power. We kind of got it at the first, but we see that he has telekinesis, and we get introduced to Iron Man's new suit. And
his nanotech suit. It's
pretty much the ultimate Iron Man suit from the comics, where it pretty much can just nanites. It could just appear out of nothing, pretty much. And it's powerful. It shows he starts taking them on pretty well.
Doctor Strange and Wong are trying to help as much as they can, and
the action's phenomenal. And then we cut over to Spider-Man.
Yep, his spider senses were tingling.
Yep, finally we see the spider sense.
He tells Ned to make, that was a good joke too, he tells Ned to make a distraction. I don't even think Ned heard him. He just looked over,
we're gonna
die. He's like, well, that works.
Yeah, and then that was also our Stan Lee cameo. He was the bus driver. So
Spider-Man joins the fight.
Yep, and he pretty strong. I like how they are implying that Spider-Man is strong, because he blocks I think Cold Obsidian's fist. He just blocked, and then and that's another thing. Still, we're at the beginning of this movie. Action after action,
full throttle the whole way.
This fight alone is already amazing, and
so Doctor Strange gets captured.
Yep.
He has the time stone. Ebony Maw is his name, right?
Yep.
He can't get the time stone out of him, so he's like, all right, I'll just capture you and take you to Thanos myself. So Iron Man goes up on the ship with Spider-Man, and he gives the Iron Spider suit.
Yep. He's starting to lose air, so he sends that spider suit up, and like the nanites too, it just absorbs over him.
And then he tells Spider-Man to go back to Earth, but nope. Spider-Man's like, I'm gonna stay on the ship and come with
you.
me.
He does the whole, all right, kid, time to go home. But he actually is able to stick on, and he goes into Spider-Man's space.
Yeah. So then I don't remember where it cuts to after this point. I think
we get to go. I think we meet the Guardians.
Yeah, I think it cuts to, and it just says space on the screen. That was a pretty fun joke. You knew us, and that's another thing.
You can tell
about
by the music
movie.
too.
Yeah, you knew who was about to pop up, because they changed the tone of the movie so well to fit the characters. You hear that music pop, and it's like, oh, here's the Guardians. They're we're responding to a distress signal.
Yep, and we see we see all the Guardians, of course. And they're still funny as ever. We see Teen Groot. He's a little teenage bastard.
Just playing games the whole time.
Playing games. Don't care what else.
Whoa, watch your language, man. They're Jesus.
But he really does have a part to play in this movie, for sure.
Later on. So they get Thor. They're like, how the heck is he still alive? Because he's just drifting out in space. Because as we saw with Yondu and Peter Quill and everybody else, they die when they're out in space, but not Thor.
Yep. And pretty much we get some of the best comedy interactions I think I've seen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, the Guardians in this movie are pretty much the comic relief for the movie.
Yeah, whenever Drax sees Thor, he's like,
that's a man.
That's a man. You're a dude, Peter. That's a man. And
even Gamora's like, his muscles are made of like metal fibers.
Yeah, and he's like, stop touching his and like Peter's just so jealous right now.
And he does the thing where like when he's talking to Thor, he like makes his voice deeper. He's like, yeah,
Asgard. But yeah, so then pretty much Thor decides that he needs to go make a new
weapon.
Mm-hmm. And
he's gonna go to the dwarfs that made Mjolnir.
Yep. And he decides Rocket really wants to go with him, so he takes Rocket and Groot, and they take the pod to go to the star.
Mm-hmm. And then Peter and the rest of the Guardians go to nowhere to go try to stop Thanos from getting the Reality Stone
from the Collector.
So let's just cut to that point. I don't think that's actually what happened next, but let's just go there.
Yeah.
And then they get to nowhere, and they see Thanos torturing the Collector.
Yep. And up till like pretty much like they have to stop Drax because he's trying to get a little too aggressive.
Yeah. His rage almost blew the whole thing.
And then pretty much like for the moment there, I'm like, okay, Thanos is there. He's like, this is where the fight's going. It's pretty quiet there though. And then we just see Gamora go up, and she takes him out, and I'm just thinking,
she stabs him in the throat. And I was like, as soon as that point happened, I knew it was happening.
I thought either, okay, this is definitely not real, or either that Thanos has some really good healing ability.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out
was just a fake reality. He already had the stone. He was just messing with him.
Fake reality, and but then he like turns like
Drax into like dice.
Yeah, I remember being in the theater.
I was like,
first
Drax
time I saw that,
die.
I'm like, did he just die? But then when they showed him doing the same thing to Mantis,
and she was still blinking.
I saw her eye move. I'm like, okay, he just like made them think of something.
And then Peter shoots Gamora because Gamora made her promise that if Thanos got her, shoot her. But Thanos just made the bubbles come out of the gun. But I was like, Peter actually would have shot Gamora in the head. Mm-hmm. Which is a big thing for Peter's character to do.
Yep, but he ends up taking her.
Mm-hmm. And they leave the Guardians there. He's like, I like you. Thanos, again, great villainous. He's like the boyfriend he calls Peter Quill.
Yeah, no, and also Peter Quill has like he's not scared of Thanos at all. He's like, I'm a space dandy booty call.
Yeah, some joke that Peter made like that. So at this point, we pretty much have all of our groups now.
Oh no! Also, we I can't remember if it's next, but because this movie really it's
very Game of Thrones esque. There's storylines going up all over the galaxy.
Yeah, if you're a fan of anime, it kind of reminds you of like manga whenever they cut back and forth to things.
Like different areas. Yeah, Game of Thrones style. Different areas going around the world.
But
want to talk about Earth and Vision? Is that where you're going next?
Yep.
Okay.
So we see that Vision. He looks human, and he's with Scarlet Witch, and she's getting a little bit of that robot booty.
Yeah, we see they've been a couple for a while now.
Yeah, and
everyone's been trying to get a hold of Vision because they're like, dude, you have the Mind Stone, you're in danger. So they see what happened on the news that there was another spaceship in New York, and Vision's like, I gotta go. And then out of nowhere, Vision just gets stabbed.
Yep.
And that's this movie never stops. Like, we think this is gonna be like the break scene, like, this is the nice quiet scene.
Yeah, because they had
Scarlet Witch.
They had that really nice talk, and like you're really feeling for them, and then bam,
he is stabbed like just through his chest out of nowhere. It's kind of a jump scare, even.
Yeah, because technically he keeps phasing out of everything, so he's never gotten stabbed.
Yeah, and this kind of takes Vision kind of out of commission throughout the whole movie because he's pretty weak the rest of the movie because of this. Because he got a sneak attack from behind. So Wanda and Vision are trying to fight off.
Proxima Midnight and
Yeah, you know their names. I don't.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I'll look it up real quick.
But the other children of Thanos. So they're trying to fight and they're being overwhelmed. And then they're trying to get away. And Wanda's power, she's gotten a real grasp on her powers now. She's getting really strong now.
Yeah, no, and because she's really powerful in the comics. Mm-hmm. But we get this we're getting this really cool action sequence again. More beautiful action.
And then it looks like Wanda and Vision are about to be kidnapped, and when all of a sudden you see a shadow in the background, and the train's going by.
There's something about this scene. When I saw it the second time, granted I did still see it on a Saturday night. It's the opening week. But man, every time that scene comes up, the theater goes crazy. I went crazy. I got excited.
And then you see who steps out.
Well, Proxima Midnight throws her staff, and Cap catches it.
Yep. So Cap steps out of the shadows and he catches it, and everyone's like in the theater. People went crazy. Man, and Cap comes in, starts wrecking people, and then we get Black Widow coming from behind and Falcon. So the three of them are there for backup.
I swear, Cap can come out of a bathroom, just go and pee, and people would be like,
"Oh,
oh
shit!"
But yeah, we get so we see in we get this nice little action sequence, and pretty much they throw down with them,
and they said, "Yeah, we don't want to kill you, but we could." And then I think Proxima Midnight says, "You should have. This is your only chance."
Yeah, you'll never get another chance too. And then they get beamed up, they leave. And they decide, okay, well, we need to go home.
So Cap goes to the Avengers compound, and that's where they meet up with Rhodey and General Ross, actually. And General Ross still wants nothing to do with Cap. He's like, just because this is a crisis. And Cap's just like, you know what? Screw you, dude.
Yeah, the universe is at stake.
And General Ross is like, politics.
What do you want?
He's like, I'm not asking for permission. And then he's like, Colonel Rhodes. He's like, arrest him. He's like, sure thing. And he just hangs up on him.
Yeah,
he's like,
General Ross, your movie barely made it in the MCU. Yeah. You don't have no room to talk.
Yeah, come on, man.
But yeah, and then
so they come up with a plan to take. They want to take the stone out of Vision's
head.
So she's like, Vision just like, all right, Wanda, you can destroy the stone. Just kill me to do it. So they come up with a plan that Vision's gonna die, and they're like, well, Vision doesn't have to die. Cap's like, I know a guy that maybe can get the stone out of you. So this is where they go to Wakanda.
Yep, we get to see our beautiful little Black Panther. Mm-hmm. He's still being a badass.
And and again, the tone of the movie just shifts again when we go to see Black Panther. They do so well. It's so well with the music and stuff.
And of course, we see Bucky there.
Yep, and they're like, he's slept long enough. He's like, he's tired of war, but let's go. And then they go give Bucky a new arm, and he's like, who do we need to fight? Like he knows.
He's ready to go. He's just ready to go. He knows what's at stake. We also, and then at some point we do cut back to Iron Man and them on the ship, and pretty much they're
they save Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Peter's like, Spider-Man's like, have you ever seen this old movie Aliens? And they pretty much alien him. Iron Man comes down. He's like,
the kid watches more movies.
Yeah, kid watches more movies, and he shoots the spaceship, which is actually, smart. It's kind of a bitch way for Ebony to go out, because he was actually
pretty strong.
I think he was the most cool out of all of them.
Yeah,
because the way he talked and presented himself.
And that was relatively early too when he went out.
Yeah, but it made sense. It's why not shoot the ship? Because he could seal it right back up. But it was really cool.
And then, so Iron Man and Doctor Strange decide. Doctor Strange wants to go back to Earth, right? And Iron Man's like, no, I don't think we're going. I think we're going to go fight Thanos. And Doctor Strange's like, I don't know if it's better to fight him on our turf or surprise attack him where he is.
Yeah.
So they all decide. He's like, let's go. And Doctor Strange makes a statement. He's like, my priority is this stone. He's like, if I have the chance to save this, get myself in the stone over you and the kid, he's like, I'm going to choose the stone. He's like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it really... And I like that he says that, because it's just it's not because they just met, and
but it's the fate of the galaxy versus
two people I just met that I'm fighting with, but I just met. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot.
So they're gonna go and capture Thanos. I know this happens later, but let's just get to it now. They land on the planet, and then Peter and they run into the rest of the Guardians who aren't there.
Yep, and they have a little fight, and
that made sense too, because they didn't know who we were. They were on Thanos' ship, and that they were going to fight Thanos, so they both thought they were Thanos' people. So they were fighting.
And of course, this leads up to another great Drax had three good jokes in this movie. He's like, where's Gamora? Who's Gamora? Why's Gamora?
And then, another Drax joke was him being perfectly still.
There's this really intimate scene between Peter. This was before they went to the Collector.
Yeah, this was way earlier.
They had this really intimate, you gotta kill me if Thanos gets me. And, he's, Peter's being funny, but she's like, on your mom's, promise me on your mom. And he's like, Yeah, okay, that's
why he would kill Gamora.
I know you're being serious about that, and
but yeah. Anyway, back to when they meet, and then he's like, who do you follow? And he's like, does he want me to say Jesus or something?
Yeah.
And then he's like, you're from Earth, and he's like, yeah.
Yep. And so like this is how all of them meet, and pretty much, I think pretty much they just wait for Thanos to show up.
Yeah, they make a plan to fight for Thanos.
Oh,
we get the scene where Doctor Strange like says he's gone into the future and seen a bunch of
seen like 14 million possible outcomes.
And then he said, and then Iron Man, so how many of those do we win? He said 1.
Yep, there's 1, which kind of I think implements that. Of course, we're gonna get the one that we win, but I think that there are still costs.
So we cut back to Wakanda. Everyone's met now. They do the joke where Bruce Banner bows to Black Panther. He says, "We don't do that here.
We don't do that."
And then, everyone's ready for battle. And then here comes the. They're trying to get Shuri's trying to get the stone out of Vision's head.
Also, before all that, one of the like most interesting scenes, and I do think it was the most interesting, and it did slow down the movie a little bit, but not in a bad way. But this is pretty much where Thanos is talking to Gamora, and we get a flashback on how Gamora was on her planet and Thanos took her. But it adds a lot to it, because it's just like, yeah, Thanos, he has this goal, but he still wants something in his life, so he takes Gamora in.
And then let's talk about Thanos. And we realize that Thanos has Nebula captured, and she's torturing Nebula, and then Thanos knows that Gamora knows what the Soul Stone is. So he's like torturing Nebula, and then Gamora finally yields and says, "Okay, I'll tell you how to get it."
Yep, and then so this leads us to finding the Soul Stone.
And they go to this planet. I forget the name of the planet.
A lot of planet names.
Yeah, they go to this random planet, and Gamora's like, the map leads here. So they're both there, and then this shadowy figure comes out and says, "Gamora, daughter of Thanos, and Thanos, son of whoever. I know who you are, and I know why you're here." And then out of the shadows he comes, and who the heck was it?
The Red Skull.
That was the biggest shock of the whole movie for me. Yeah. I was like, I literally said, "Whoa!"
Yeah, like everyone thought they were gonna bring back, like Thanos was gonna bring back the Red Skull. I don't know why, but I just like that it implemented, because that was like one of the characters that we didn't know what happened.
Yeah,
because they
tied up
didn't
the
die.
thread. Yeah,
and it was so perfect what they did with him too, because it was like
no one saw it coming too.
No. And he got sent up into space, and he was searching for the stones, but pretty much
he got stuck.
Doing that, he learned that he was not worthy, and that he would later on
be cursed
to
guide people to the Soul Stone.
Yep, and they guide them right up there, and pretty much
he says, "A soul for a soul. You have to give up something you love."
And at this point, Gamora is like, she's laughing, because she's just like,
you don't love anything.
You don't love anything. You think that you know what you're doing right. She just gives this good speech on how, like, the universe just judged you. You don't have something you love. Because she really doesn't think that he loves her. Like, that...
We see Thanos tearing up because he's crying, and Gamora's like, "Really? You're crying?" She's like, "Just because you can't get the stone?" And then we hear Red Skull say that those tears aren't for him. And then Gamora realizes what's about to happen.
Yep, and she tries to kill herself before
more
he
bubbles.
Can do that, and like
he uses the Reality Stone, more bubbles.
Yep, and then he just pulls her, and like weirdly enough, like this was one of the best scenes. It's just like Thanos is one of the best. I think one of the best, if not the best, Marvel villain we've had.
So he gets and he throws Gamora off, and he kills Gamora. Gamora is dead.
Yeah,
which I didn't see that one coming.
Nope, and like she's dead, and he wakes up and he has the Soul Stone, which actually is not the big one that everyone thought was missing. It's actually
the Mind Stone's on the middle. You have it right here, the yellow one.
Yeah,
the Soul Stone's this orange one right here.
So we've got this one checked, this one checked.
Yeah,
but yeah, at this point Thanos is pretty powerful, but all he needs now is the Mind Stone, and
no, he still doesn't have Time Stone yet.
Time Stone. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, so then he
only needs the Mind Stone and Time Stone at this point.
Yep. So he shows, and then this later leads up to him showing up on Titan, and we get one of the best fights I've ever seen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, so Iron Man was just like, yeah, let's fight Thanos, and he's like, and Peter makes a joke, that's a terrible plan. Let me come up with a plan.
Yeah, and like they really actually do have a great plan. Like they actually.
Doctor Strange is just sitting there waiting for him. Let's just go through the fight scene.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is just sitting there waiting for him. Thanos pops up, and then he's like, he's there, and then you see Spider-Man waiting, you see Star-Lord waiting, you see Iron Man waiting. They're all like waiting to ambush him all at once. Mm-hmm. So we get into the fight, and pretty much the plan is to bind Thanos down, get his gauntlet off, and they have Doctor Strange keeps on portaling people. That's what I thought was cool. He keeps on making portals for Spider-Man and Iron Man and like Drax and everybody to come out and get a shot in on Thanos.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it technically works because like Mantis comes down, puts it. By the way, I think we need to talk about like Mantis is actually pretty powerful now.
Her mind powers are really strong.
Yeah, like I think she's a great addition to the group because she was able to subdue the Mad Titan.
So she's like messing with his mind or doing what she does to make him calm or whatever, and they're trying to get Spider-Man and Iron Man trying to get the glove off, and then this is when Peter realizes that Gamora is dead. So this is the one I was like, Peter just destroyed, messed up their chances. They were like a few seconds away from getting the glove off of him.
Yes and no, but also I think with Doctor Strange saying that he saw one outcome where they do win,
I agree with.
I think that's why he didn't try to stop. I think he could have easily stopped Peter. Mm-hmm. I think he could have told Peter like, "Hey, you can't be in this fight." Or something. So I think that this had to happen though.
So it didn't work, and then Thanos gets the glove back on. He starts just wrecking everybody.
He takes like the fire, throws it back at him. He has like this wave of like birds coming at Iron Man.
Drops the moon on
he just like destroys like the moon and like throws it on Iron Man and like, oh my god, it was so awesome.
And then we see how freaking strong Doctor Strange is. He uses a freaking shadow clone jutsu pretty much.
Yeah, no, he's a shadow clone.
And with all the arms too.
Yeah, Naruto comes up, Rasengan, Thanos at the end of the movie.
All the arms and stuff, he's trying to wrap them up. And then this is when Thanos realizes you've got a lot of tricks, but you haven't used your greatest weapon, which is the time stone. It's so you don't have it with you. You're hiding it.
Yep. And we get this kind of one-on-one fight a little bit with Thanos and Iron Man. And
Iron Man puts up a good fight.
He's gone really strong.
Yeah.
He's
against
really
4 Infinity Stones.
Yeah, and but this was one of the, I think, it ended quick, but this was one of the big moments in the movie because Thanos takes one of the blades that Iron Man made and stabs him, and instantly
everyone in the theater was like, "Oh,
everyone's
this is this is the end of Iron Man."
We thought, okay, this
Iron
is
Man's
it.
Dead.
Okay, Iron Man is one of the main ones to go. Mm-hmm. Oh shit! But then
Doctor Strange says, "Stop!
I'll give you the stone." He gives him the stone.
You just let Tony live.
Yep, and pretty much I think Tony does live because he just nanoites his wound. He's definitely injured though. Mm-hmm. But then now Thanos has
Tony,
5.
Yep, he's got 5. Tony says, "Why did you do that?" And he says, we're in Endgame now. So we cut back to the Battle of Wakanda. Thor is... Let's talk about what happens to Thor now. Thor went to the dwarf, and we got Peter Dinklage.
Peter fucking Dinklage.
He got to be a giant dwarf, which was cool.
So, yeah, he's there. And we also get a little bit on, who made the gauntlet. And it makes sense that, okay, the person that makes Mjolnir and thing, he made the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And he killed all the rest of the dwarfs and left him.
Melted his hands together so he couldn't make anything else.
Yep. And
Thor and Rocket have to reactivate the star so him to make Stormbreaker, which he says was supposed to be for the King of Asgard. And he says it's so strong it even has a Bifrost in it. So this is the most powerful weapon that they can make to stand up to all the Infinity Stones. So Thor and Rocket get it started, but then Thor has to take a freaking full blast from the star for them to make it.
Yep, he has to hold open just for a couple minutes, a couple seconds, but I mean, he's taking the full front of a star. Mm-hmm. And he's getting burned up, but he's doing it, and then he gets he gets sent into the
ship, and he's about to die again. And then Peter Dinklage is we need the handle. The handle. Has anyone seen the handle? And Groot finally does something.
This is one of my favorite moments in the whole movie, because it was kind of getting just a tad bit annoying with the way Groot was acting. Yeah. It's just we get it, he's a teenager.
But literally the galaxy's about to be destroyed.
But he just sits there and he sees that oh god, this guy just he just got burnt up for this. Like he's just like, crap. I need to man up and do something.
So Groot puts the axe together, and then he uses his own wood to make a handle.
Yeah, he just takes up his arm and just cuts that out,
and it makes like a nice big handle. And then it comes to Thor, and then you see the lightning come.
Yep,
and then next scene it cuts to Thor using the Bifrost and the Stormbreaker now.
Well, before that, we get, of course, Proxima and Cold Obsidian. They show up to Wakanda, and you have all the armies there ready to fight, like the Dora Milaje, the King's Guard. They have all them there, and then
their shield comes up on Wakanda, and they're allowed. Which helped them tremendously.
Yeah, it only let a couple in, but they're able to easily pick them off from afar. But then
they start to go around.
So the only way to stop them
is to open a small section.
And this is one of my favorite moments, only for the sheer scene of when everyone's charging, which is cool and all, but you just see Captain America and Black Panther way up ahead of the crowd, and it was so cool.
People cheered in the theater when that happened. It's yeah, Cap and Black Panther.
They were just oh, they were so badass. And
so we get the big battle starts now, and everyone's doing their best to fight.
Yep, and Bruce Banner is in the Hulkbuster.
Yeah. He can't be the Hulk right now, so they gave him the Hulkbuster suit.
Hulkbuster, which makes sense because him and Tony designed that, so it makes sense he'd be able to at least use it.
So yeah, we get the big battle interactions. Shuri's still trying to get the Mind Stone out of Vision. They said one of the members was dead. The one you couldn't remember his name. They said he was dead, but he wasn't actually. He snuck in through Wakanda and tried to sneak up on Shuri to get to Vision. What
they're doing, what happens is once we get this little kind of 2v1 with Proxima, Black Widow, and Okoye. And they're doing pretty good. They're standing up with her, but they're also kind of getting they're not winning anymore. And these big giant wheel blade things come out of the ground
from Attack of the Clones.
From Attack of the Clones, yeah. They come out of the ground. And pretty much Scarlet Witch is okay,
I gotta start.
I have to help them. And she goes out there and she picks those things up and throws them at the enemy.
And then Okoye's why was she back there?
Yeah, she's she was up there the whole time. What the fuck?
She's one of our strongest members. But that leaves Vision unguarded.
Yep, and then that's where the one that we thought was one of the members that we thought was dead, he's actually there. He was waiting for the moment that she left.
And then at some point when everyone's coming in, all of a sudden, when they release the shield, frickin' the Bifrost comes, destroys a lot of them. Then you see Thor there with frickin' Stormbreaker and Rocket and Groot. And that's one of the coolest scenes of the movie.
Yes, because he gets up and you just see the lightning.
The lightning,
just,
bam, and he starts destroying everything.
He's taking out mountains of enemies, and he's taking out the ship, and he is just powerful.
Like Stormbreaker, Thor might be the strongest Avenger at this point with Stormbreaker.
Yeah, and it's and one cool little joke we get is this is my Steve and Thor see each other again.
Your hair.
I like the beard. You're trying to copy me, being handsome. He's he's this is my tree friend, and he's I am Groot, and he's I'm Steve Rogers.
And I thought it was really cool. Another side note is that Thor can speak Groot. He's it was an elective on Asgard.
It was an elective on Asgard. I need to go.
Groot.
I need to get into Asgardian University ASAP. I need to get into AAU.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So now we're at Endgame pretty much. Thanos has got...
So, and also pretty much, Bruce is fighting Cold Obsidian in the Hulkbuster, which get a nice little fight there. And what he does is he just throws the arm that Colt ripped off of him on his arm, and then sends him flying, and he just rubs across the shield and just gets burnt up.
Oh yeah, which just really halfway cool. In, halfway out of the big force field thing over Wakanda.
Yeah, which is super cool. And then the way they take out Proxima is Scarlet Witch just throws her up with one of those giant wheels,
and then there's blood all over him. It's that was gross.
Yeah.
And then Vision's fighting the last one.
Yep, and
Cap goes to help him, right? I think it's Cap.
Yep, Cap goes to help him, but then and then Vision comes in with the final blow and kills him. But pretty much Tony's team lost to Thanos. Thanos disappears and Thanos shows up. And
Yeah, Thanos pops up at Wakanda now.
You get like kind of like a quiet like breeze.
It's like, and you know, it's like, oh,
something's coming.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he has all the stones.
They're like, everyone division now. They're like, he's here. Yep. And then Thanos is easily just dispatching of everybody, like War Machine, Falcon. Everybody's like running division. Mm-hmm. And then like he's just using each of the stones, and I think it's cool how he uses each of the stones in different ways.
Yep, it's really cool, and Cap, man, like Cap, he's actually like he gets like read by Thanos, but he gets a couple good hits. He like hits him in the knee, and hits him up top, and then
we get that scene from the trailer where he's holding the gauntlet.
Yeah, we also get one of the I think the best scenes in the movie too. Is when Vision's like, you gotta do it.
It's like, there's no time, we're out of time. Destroy the stone now.
Yep, and like, he's just like, he gives this speech. He's like, you're the only thing I feel. And like, it's just like, I feel for her. And
she doesn't want to do it. But then she finally realizes, she's like, and then she does it. And then Thanos is killed, or not Thanos, and Vision is killed, but then Thanos got the time stone.
Thanos is like, time is something I actually have.
And then he just reverses time.
Reverses it back, and before, it's like you could even see Scarlet Witch's lip like trembling during that scene, like she didn't want to do it, and then she sees what he just did, and she just realizes like, what? Like, crap! Yeah. I did that. Like, we're screwed.
And then so he takes Vision dies again. He comes back just to be killed again.
Yeah,
he rips the stone out of his head, and Thanos talks to Scarlet Witch. He's like, I know how you're feeling. And then she's like, you don't know anything. He's like, I've lost more today than you'll ever know.
Yep.
Because he's lost his entire crew, his family, his daughters, everyone. There's no one left. He's the only one left. So he's like, I've lost more today than you'll ever know.
And he puts the final Infinity Stone in the gauntlet, and then we have it all finished.
But then Thor chucks Stormbreaker, and Thanos tries to blast it, and Stormbreaker breaks through the full blast from the Infinity Gauntlet, hits him in the chest. And then Thor's like, I told you I'd kill you.
Yep, and then we just see Thanos. He's like, you should have aimed for the head.
Then he snaps.
He snaps his fingers.
And then they're like, what did you just do? And then he disappears. And then like, what just happened?
Yeah, and he sees like young Gamora, and she's just like, what did it cost? And he's like, everything.
Yeah.
And then Thanos is gone. I think he Space Stone out of there.
So again, his plan was we never mentioned it. His plan was to kill half the population because there's not enough resources for everybody. Which mathematically, you kind of see where he's coming from. I mean, it's crazy to kill half the population.
It's not a plan that works, and it's absurd, and you don't personally have the.
But you kind of see where his point is, because his home planet was killed because they ran out of resources.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
And he even tells Gamora, he's like, yeah, I killed half of your planet, but they're thriving now. They're in a time of, it's a haven. It's peaceful. Yeah. It's amazing. He's like, I did that. Mm-hmm. He's like, I need to take this burden. I need to take all this. I'm the only one that has the will to do it.
Yeah, the power and the will to do it. So we get the final scene, which is the tearjerker scene, where at first we see Winter Soldier come out of the woods, and he's like, Steve, and he's like, I don't feel so good. And then he just freaking turns to dust.
Yep, and we start seeing one by one. I think, and then we get Black Panther disappears.
And as soon as that happened, I knew this wasn't legit.
Yeah,
guys, like as soon as Black Panther, I was like, dude, they're not gonna kill Black Panther. That movie made so much money.
But
so,
like when some of them Scarlet Witch disappears, all the Guardians pretty much disappear.
Groot disappeared again. I was like, no, not Groot again.
Yeah,
I was like
you see Rocket like, no, and it was so sad. And then, but one of the ones that got me, even though I know he's gonna come back, Spider-Man, like when he was just like, no, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go. No, please.
That was the last one.
Everyone
with Tony. Before we get to the Spider-Man one, Doctor Strange says,
he's like,
this is how it had to happen.
This is the only way.
So Tony and Nebula are the only ones pretty much there. But yeah, the most emotional one, it was like Spider-Man was the last one to go, and he's like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yep.
And then he's hugging him. He's like, I don't want to die. And this is like, the scene where Peter, even though the actor is, like our age probably, But you know, Peter's just a kid. He's still supposed to be in high school, and he's like just a kid who doesn't want to die, and he's like afraid that he's dying now.
Yep, and then pretty much like you just see Steve. He's just like, oh God, and then it cuts to Thanos, and he's just on this planet, and he's just sitting there, and he just takes like a light breath. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And that's how the movie ended. I was like, everyone was like, what? That was like the quickest 2.5 hour movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I was sweating. I was like, whew.
And then
much goodness.
We get like the ending thing. It says Avengers Infinity War, and then like it fades away into dust, like the graphic at the end, just like everybody else died.
Yep. And then, so we'll get right to it. Spoil the end credit scene. People were like kind of flipping out about it, but honestly, we already knew her movie was coming, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. But yeah,
but Nick Fury's dead too.
Nick Fury, and
it's like we thought Spider-Man was the last one, but the after credit scene was Maria Hill and Nick Fury are gone now too.
And he kind of went out on a little bit of a joke. He's like, "Mother,"
and then
But he sends the thing for Captain Marvel to come, and but yeah, that's pretty much it. We love this movie.
It was great. Like again, Thanos. Like I thought Thanos' character was going to be, I'm a god, you're puny, but he respects the Avengers. He's like, I get. You're trying with all your might to stop me. Yeah. He respects Star-Lord. He respects Iron Man, Doctor Strange.
That's why I think also when he comes in the next movie, I think he's going to wear his armor now. I think he knows that. He's like, I got to be a little bit stronger.
But he's like, even like he had that line where he says, I hope they remember you to Iron Man. Like he respects Iron Man for trying to stop him.
Yeah, it was... Thanos was a fun... This was an event. This was a movie I'm never going to forget.
And the villain actually won at the end of this movie.
Yeah. And now but thank God next is Ant-Man and the Wasp. We're going to find out, Ant-Man and Hawkeye were not in this movie, by the way. We're going to probably find out why they weren't in the movie, and then we'll get Captain Marvel, find out stuff about her, and why Nick Fury wants her to come help.
And then Infinity War Part 2, which we still don't know the title of.
We still don't know the title of, but it's going to be out next year, so we don't got to wait too long, which makes sense.
But it still feels so far away at the same time.
So... I think next we're going to probably do a separate video of our theory on what's going to happen in Avengers 4. But that's going to do it for us. This was so fun talking about it. We love this movie. Probably going to go see it one more time because I don't think this is a movie I want to burn myself out of. I want to watch it a couple times, enjoy it, and that'll be it.
Yep. Let us know what you thought of it down below. And as always, you can hit that subscribe button over there, and there'll be another movie review up here.
Alright, that's going to do it. Thank you very much. We hope you have a good day.